Well, Splash and Jamzid, no pickaxe, funny business all the way up top. They're going straight down into the newsroom and still don't have any weapons. Splash, my man, there you go. No! What looked like a present ends up being his demise. Jamzid now all by himself. This is just going to be tough.
Yeah, thing is with this, if Jam's fully disengaging, realistically, are you going to be able to get the reboot card? Are you going to be able to go back in? Like, there's so many teams in Bugle, and especially if this is a north zone, players are going to sit up around the volcano all around. You're not getting that card, you're not getting the reboot. So he has to make a decision here. What are we going to do? Am I going to play for points as a solo for the entire game, looting probably almost nothing because everything around here is contested? Or am I going to have to sneak back in here, try and get the reboot card off somewhere, maybe up to the north side of the map somewhere? I'm not entirely sure.
It's going to be tough. Definitely basically is untouchable. And then yeah, not only, you're right, is the mission on getting the card impossible. Where do you go after that as well? My question too, based off of last game, what did Aqua and Noah Riley do? I mean, they made it off spawn, they looked really good, but then we're kind of invisible for the rest of the game.
I mean, the mid was good, right? Early and mid, great games, but they had the exact same flaw that Tayson did, right? Or sorry, not that Tayson did. They went up for the same time. I was about to say, I'm waffling at this point,
What a
right?
flaw, I want that flaw.
I know, oh no, they won the game, what a problem. No, but they ended up trying to go for the height at the exact same time as Tayson was. And the reason Tayson basically won is because they took advantage of that height retake that weakened the high ground, right? They didn't have such a great attempt at it. And you know, like, no, I was going to say Aqua Rayleigh, that's a great combination of their name. I think that's the way it's going to be from now on. You know, if they mess up the high ground retake, it's over for them at that point. And that's what it was.
Yeah, I mean, you have to not only pick a perfect time to go for height, you have to make sure you're not kind of, you know, crashing midair when it comes to going for the high ground as well. You're ending up just dealing with one team, and now it's what 3-4 at the same time. So yeah, King of Height having a few issues on getting that kind of motto solidified inside these semifinals, but there's still 2 games left, and that includes this one entirely. What a shot, Harpoon combination, the pinch is there. Julius can't actually find anything after that, though. The shots are going to be good from the backside. I like the insurance where he's on top and Nipsey's the one doing the dirty work inside the box.
This fight, without this format, we wouldn't have seen it, because this was the home of Janus, who obviously qualified through in that first game. So we've opened this up. And one of the things I'm interested in now is this is Skyzoo who ended up landing here. So now in the south side, when we're seeing of Sleepy Sounds, that's going to leave Flois and Andrea uncontested there. You know, we saw those fights going on in the first couple. We've seen that switch up the drop swap. So interesting to see later on how they kind of play. Can they pick up a victory round?
Vino and Joe, Cruel and Kane, head to head, no Thomas and Tayson. So they had to basically go all in, it seems like, for the spot now. Timing's gonna be good for them too, Reese, right? They don't have to go for that initial 50-50, don't have to be damaged on shield overall. This is kind of what we saw Vino and Joe do all throughout the qualifiers, same type of game. And if that happens, they could also be slated up to win.
They're basically nearly bottom of the leaderboard based off their off-spawn performance so far. So this is going to be the first game that we're going to be able to really see how that plays out, as long as they don't go down to Kane and Cruel. But Mustache and Malabuka, now this is a fight that's interesting, because yet again, Fraction and Coop have pulled on round this way. Remember, we've seen them contesting Seti and Chapix. Now they've consistently moved into this. I'm wondering if they switched the drop spot up for this particular match, because they're just in this area yet again. But this time is a full duo.
And Fraction's group, I think, definitely just left sleepy. There's no chance that they're here this early unless they spawned with super peppers. I just got the super around the entire map.
You never know. They could just spawn with the super peppers. We're not them.
Unfortunately, I feel like this fight doesn't help either team when it just lasts this long. Mustache Malabuka can't farm anything. But Mustache is being a distraction. Malabuka, meanwhile, chopping everything down. At some point, you have to realize, we're one of the players. Why do I hear an SMG, but the shots aren't firing at my builds? Something is wrong, and there we go. That's exactly what Coop and Frack end up figuring out, all the way up towards high ground. It's still looking kind of messy overall. There are no all-ins, but it's 2 teams that don't really like going for that super all-in, right? I mean, Coop kind of showed us how him and Frack like to fight against Toos. It took 5 minutes for them to finally go down.
It's very painful, and we're seeing that right now. Both teams have almost no materials to the name. Malabuka on the top, the 10 on the bottom, Fraction with 2. And this is it. They basically utilized all of those. We see the chop down coming, but at the point where you start to see the spray coming on through, I was about to say, oh, that's exactly what Coop does right there, trying to capitalize on that split. No heals on Malabuka, so we're going to see him left on 70 HP. Let's see what we can do.
Third party, it's coming in. It's not just two teams now. This is tough. All the damage both teams have done. Lots of work, and Malibuca finally gets one. Turns around for the two. That could be a huge refresh they need, but from all sides, it's pressure time, and they have to make sure they base up and get ready for this next fight.
Malibuca has no mats. He doesn't realize he's still trying to hold at that moment. He's going to have to start just trying to hit a shot. It's Pickle and Melgard who are rotating their way through. Malibuca can't even jump up, can't heal, can't do anything. He just has to play pumps out, potentially SMGs out. He's going to the big angle. He hits the 72 shot, but no, he's tracked back at the same time. Now in HP, more shots connected. He's so difficult to hit, but unfortunately, it's going to be an end over run for him. And Pickle and Melgard are going to win that fight. 4 eliminations total to their name. Look at the loot that they have in their inventory. Absolutely stacked.
A vortex of chaos of spawn between all three teams. Have to be able to watch that one back real quick. It seems like after every good fight, Fast Roki also gets an Elim somewhere across the map. And that happened too. But yeah, Malibuca, this was really good movement, Reese, for him to at least be able to know what's going down with his teammate and try to get something happen.
I think the understanding that he had no materials came a little bit too late, however. Like, you saw a couple times trying to hold a wall where one doesn't exist, where Mustache had to take over instead. So they potentially could have won that fight. Realistically, like, none of us would have won that fight from that specific perspective. They're incredible fighters, but it's just the micro movements like that that could potentially turn something around. We'll see the next couple games, though, you know? Well, the next game, sorry, only one left.
Always used to the 6. Yeah, we have one less overall as well for some of the consistent teams that like to pop off a little bit later, right? You're mentioning Analytic Squeeze. I feel like they're a back half team, no doubt, on days. They're also a back half team when it comes to games overall. Sometimes not finding their footings in game 1, 2, and 3, but then coming back in 4, 5, and 6. Reese, they don't have the 6. A bunch of those teams do not have the key ingredient to winning and qualifying for the next stage.
Absolutely not. This is a little replay of that fight that we just watched there. Taking ABL. This is their drop spot where they went in qualifier number 2 as well, up against Diox and Wafar at the same time, and little clap. Golf clap. Golf clap for the win.
That's what we like to see. There's a lot of emote options for a little bit of that BM, but I'm liking the clap. Keep it respectful.
Yeah, that's respectful. It's, you know, you could go way worse.
Seti, Chapix, when it comes to them, I'm not sure if the competition is getting worse off for this duo game after game, Reese, because they seem to be in better and better spots, but I'm not seeing a victory royale. And I know last game they survived all the way towards the very end, lost the control a little bit. Top 5 is great, but what's happening? Why isn't that consistent?
I mean, in all honesty, I think Seti struggled this season overall. I truly do. He struggled to find a teammate to start with. He started playing with Noah Rayleigh. That didn't work out. iDrop was in there, and then Chapix now. I think there may have also been another player at some point he was trying out with. And I feel like he's not got the, you know, almost GOAT level status this season as he has in previous. I want to see the performances coming out from him. Potentially, it's just he's not been able to figure it out in duos as such as he had absolutely mastered and nailed in trios. He is an absolutely all-star player, undoubtedly, but I've just yet to see like the big performances that I hope will come in time for the finals, assuming obviously that they qualify.
Well, they have to over 3 days at least, too. Big thing with that zone pulling to the bottom right, you saw it on the map. I saw some research done on Twitter. Usually I don't have the analytics myself, but here we go.
Yeah,
this zone only 16% of the time does it actually lock in terms of zone 1-2. A lot of the times you see games played on the top left side of the map, the northwest. That's about a 27% chance of the zone going that way. So when it comes to the zones entirely, it's like 27, 23, 22. The bottom right at 16. Not many players end up playing the game inside even second, third, fourth, especially endgame on this side of the map. So the adaptable players who like to play mid-ground, especially Refs Guard Scram when it comes to the way we've been seeing them play today, they will be at a huge advantage. And I'm glad we're watching this POV because they're setting it up already, right, Reese? We got the gauntlets in hand, the web shooters. We have the whiplash as well to get past this hairy portion of the zone. They're so used to it now. We've kind of gotten used to watching Refs Guard and Scram be outside of zone, go all the way from the top left to the bottom right of the map, but this will be the ultimate test to their game style.
Firstly, as you mentioned, these guys are not getting good zone RNG. These are a lot of south zones. They're a north zone team, but also because that zone's pulling into the kind of southeast side, with the Spider-Man's web shooters that they have, there's going to be a lot of trees that they can use. They can jungle their way through. They can swing all the way past. I think these guys could have some pretty easy rotates up until the 5th zone. Hopefully not caster cursing them as I say that at the same time, but this game is definitely set up for them to do well, as long, just assuming that they can actually get into that position without being beamed on rotate like they are kind of right now.
I'm liking the driving from Scram. Refs Guard 2 is just there like, yeah, shoot at me. I dare you. Sanji from up top does not even try to get another shot in. I'm pretty sure he did some damage, so that's really good. They save all their tires too. They can definitely use that whiplash later on. You got to remember the second zone, if you have vehicles, you want to keep them healthy, keep them alive, hopefully have the tires online as well. Surge should be coming in soon too. He's 75 alive. There it is. Instantly locks in. That's what we like to see. 180 above for Dizipdos and Gonzel. They're looking good today.
Yeah, one of the things actually that for them right now, they're in an okay spot, right? Notice like the layer that they're on. It's just like one layer off the ground. Not great, in all honesty, because the sight lines that they have over these hills isn't that far. But saying that, there is a lot of trees around them, so that extra layer or two elevation probably wouldn't actually open up their sight lines that much. You can see over to this side in particular, right? There's that hill right next to them where they're just cut off. Potentially, if they'd gone up a layer or two, that is the congested side of the zone. They might be able to get a little bit more tags on teams rotating. They're okay in Storm Surge now, but maybe for later zones, that's not going to be enough.
Not at all. They're still going to be consistent throughout the day. So is Scram. When it comes to Zcod and Andy, they had that one game of kind of limelight where they were on height, but then unfortunately past that, you know, it's either a whiplash in the business or Andy's down. So some teams going through some struggles. Kiko though, with Mosh, I mean, Mosh has been the one that's been more active. Usually we see Kiko with all the elims, the crazy man coming in, the youngin that just goes and dives into every box. But so far, Mosh has been carrying, I feel like, the elims throughout the day.
Definitely, but this zone in particular, this is a home zone for them. This is where they drop. This is the spot that they've been dropping through all the qualifiers. They've been battling left, right, and center for this. And it's actually Ziandi alongside Alex Cod who's been third-partying them off spawn so far. So we've got the two perspectives of the two teams who have kind of had that home zone opportunity for them. So for Kiko and Mosh, like, this is the time to shine, right? They've had that kind of early engagement already. They've got some surge ticked off. They're in a good spot in the zone. Let's just see what they can actually make of that now.
The one thing I like is the different personalities from teams. No way, Rayad.
Dead on Red.
That's like a Spider-Man 2 POV straight out of the movie. That is just tough. Oh my goodness. In a game 4 as well, right before the next one.
Both of them at the same time.
Were they both alive there? That's both of the same exact. There's no way. Give me, I don't like replaying that stuff a lot of them, but I gotta see a replay of that possibly. Was it a shot?
You'll see a replay on Twitter. I guarantee there's a replay of that on Twitter right now.
Don't let it distract you from the Storm Surge issues you're seeing right now. Some of the solutions that this team's having. Mosh and Kiko, usually, I mean, you saw it before. Teams struggled to get some damage down, but Mosh finds a knock and almost an elimination almost too. Inside the zone, still 4 below. They need one more shot.
Trying to go for the double spray through the wall, and 72, so 2 more players still need to go down, and they're literally 1 bullet. If they connect with a single one of these, that's going to put them up above the threshold. And all the teams around them right now who have ears on them understand that these guys are weak. Now with that big beam coming through onto Mosh, the Chug Splash is wasted at this time. Any team in this vicinity will understand that these guys are weak. They can set up traps for this. You've got guys at Q-Roll, I think, on that far west side from them right now who could easily just try and set up a trap and let these guys push in. But no, one of the team below them on the threshold has actually gone down. So now they are up above. And they're just okay, but now look at what has been drained from that. So many heals. All of the Chug Splashes gone. The only heals remaining now being 2 bigs and 2 minis.
A lot of the times you can use those heals to end up tanking zone a little bit to use your mobility in endgame. They won't have that option. Scram and Earthstar is showing us exactly how to web zip and thwip properly, all the way up to a recyclable launch pad that just spawns with the zone, with the game. They'll be able to use it and have a free rotation in. But I like the fact, Reese, that they wait a little bit for a lot of teams to get ahead first. Take some of that pressure, the distraction, and then follow their builds in from one of the sides. Everyone's focused on low ground. You're talking about the trees. This is why I like that call out, Reese. They get in almost perfectly, no damage taken, and that's just a great swing from them.
Yeah, talking of swings, some of them aren't always going to be as fortunate as others.
Oh man,
we're gonna have a replay of exactly what goes on.
What happened? One shot.
They got shot
That's
out.
Stena.
Vino shot them both out on their swing as they were going. You have to be careful with patience with if you get sprayed out. That will still give you that fall damage. That's rough. For both at the same time.
You know what? At least they went down together. You know, that's the one thing. As teammates.
Brothers. Yeah.
Brothers. Yeah.
That's definitely gonna grow their chemistry as a duo.
Yeah, definitely gonna get the voice comms active inside the lobby before the game.
I'm opening Stena Twitter right now.
I want to see the zone with Seti and Chapix. They're aimed in for the moment, and they actually get one of the best positions in zone, I feel like, if this base is actually in. Get to basically be the airport security, right? Just get to see who comes in and goes out completely all the way down to the final wire. They get to even influence who's beside them. And I like the fact, you were mentioning it, Reese, before, sight lines, having them perfectly situated. They actually build up a little bit more because there are mountains and trees across, and now they have even more angles.
I mean, these guys are veteran Storm Surge players at this point. Like Seti in particular, a player I rarely see struggle with Storm Surge. Chapix, another one of those players who is always able to capitalize on players who are being tagged by Surge, right? Able to really take advantage of that. But another one of the reasons why they're elevating there is, notice that's the congested side of the zone, the north side. A lot of those players are going to rotate into them, and if they're in a low layer, they're going to get built over. So if they're just built up a little bit, a lot of those players will be down below underneath them, giving them that good height for that later zone, hopefully if they end up pulling fifth.
That's the POV of a team that's actually bunkered down and ready to go when it comes to playing the zone. For Analytics, squeeze kind of more nomads overall, and they lose one of the tires. This was a win condition for Seti and Chapix. It's a win condition for Analytics and XQueeze 2 to have that vehicle up, save a lot of materials, and get towards other portion of the game. That'll not be an option now. Still 111 points for them. 74 for Scram overall. That's kind of our top 6 POV entirely, so they're still doing good.
Yeah, this zone's still not great though. Like they've managed to use the Spider-Man to get a little bit closer, but they still have a lot more to go, and look at how many people are in front of them. 153 below, now 77 below the Storm Surge with a long way to rotate, but this is the best reason why you're going to stagger like this. They get to the midpoint of the zone, spray the people at the front who are using those launch pads, get their tags off, and then rotate, but it's still not been enough yet.
Have to solve this puzzle though. Scram on the left side. Let's William already in. They're swinging right behind everyone's builds and aren't even shot. Build all the way up. A few errors in switching materials, but it's all good. Scram finally taking some of the first damage. We've seen this dual take, and the first shield crack leads to absolute demise. Scram is down.
That's the risk with staggering like that, right? They let the other players catch up, but then they could be held from that exact same thing. Resguard now left as a solo with almost no hard materials. Luckily, oh, the big beam's coming out on the way to travel back, to clap back to get the Storm Surge up above yet again, which was fantastic. But as a solo, again, is this going to be Vitriol? This has to be some point for the leaderboard to try and get them from 6th where they currently are, hopefully to stay there.
Yeah, they are the line that every single person in this lobby is trying to cross. Solium and Lecce looked comfortable before, but that bed quickly has its springs wrung out, and they are uncomfortable now inside the lobby, waiting for the next game. Andalex, first place overall POV of the lobby in terms of consistency. Can they escape with a win? Are they fine being here and just leading game after game? They've got 2 more to bunker down and hold it with, though, and they're still controlling that low ground.
Any team right now is comfy on a bed with springs. This is a hotel bed for Andalex and XQueeze. Their comfort is through the roof right now. Materials refreshed. They're in a great, I was going to say great position in zone, but now they've just pulled a max distance zone. So maybe spoke a little bit too early, but they do have that whiplash box up there, which I'm not sure if it has been destroyed at this point, but they can rotate around the south, the dead side. Notice all the players who are congested up on that north, they may be able to go down the south. But for Raphael and Crazy, they managed to get themselves a little launch pad and get ahead anyway.
Early pad, everyone's still worried and figuring out what to do. They skip that entire pressure moment. Fast Roki on the box, and you can smell him. He sees Refsguard, he's found out. You cannot hide from Fast Roki, and he picks up that free elimination. It will hinder him in time. Every team has to move.
That's huge for Refsguard in a negative way as well. He was sick. Now going down before the zones start going, the placement hasn't really even started to kick in yet. So this leaderboard switch up is going to be massive going into the final game. So for next game, we have to keep an eye on Refsguard and Scram if they're going to be able to keep up in the leaderboard.
Who's trying to pass them right now? Who can take over their mantle? It's Seti and Chapix on screen. Vortexia also down. Pickle ends up screaming as he gets taken out. Melody denied by Besyptos and Relvis. So everyone is alive, but that's on the backside. It's Besyptos going down on a trade. Seti and Chapix were looking at their box. They were literally at the top side, at the pinnacle of this zone, and they pull the next one again.
Besyptos and Kinzo there were in 5th as well. So currently our 5th and 6th place teams are out. Seti and Chapix, who is in 7th, is easily going to be able to overtake them if they manage to have a massive game here. If not, just pick up the victory royale, whilst our first place team of Andalex and XQueeze are still in it as well.
at the top of the ladder. They're looking down at the rungs fall, and Endless and Squeeze are happy about it. No team to be able to come up and catch up. All the ones that are important are falling one by one. All they need to do is make sure this zone run, this maximum pull, the distance works, and they're inside the vehicle. It's at 1/4 of HP, 85, and they finally get out. So greedy, but it works.
Yeah, Seti and Chapix in the bottom left. Noah and Aqua in the bottom left. Actually, I meant the other direction. I don't know mine either. But here we go. The box started to jump in, and the players at the backside. Noah and Aqua probably going to have to start to go for high ground at some point. But no, they're getting into an engagement with Flodax. The team that they're fighting off spawn at the opposite side, they're deciding to disengage, not get into that full engagement. But look at the materials, 39. This is not a game-winning loadout. As the players start to go past the box, they get in. Noah's down. Aqua also down at the same time. Flip-flop all over the place. But up on high ground, the team who's managing to keep things sturdy, keep the concrete under their feet is Joe and Vino up on high ground.
You can hear it. Peace, tranquility for Joe and Vino, but it's interrupted quickly as Relvis comes straight all the way up for height again. This man can't stop. He's hungry for it. He had one taste, and he gets denied a dish. Best served cold is revenge for Joe and Vino on that one. They were denied in that game number 3. This time, they're not going to be there to be able to get stopped at all. The people that were stopping them off spawn, not here whatsoever. Taste and Thomas have gone straight to the finals, so height will be free for them for now. Seti and Chapix, though, on mid-ground, they're going to have some trouble navigating this layer.
Still got plenty of materials left to their name, but notice they're still in 7th place right now. They haven't even overtaken the 2 teams who managed to be eliminated by them at this moment. So great positioning awareness from him, but they're going to have to ensure that they keep going deeper into the zones if they're going to be able to up on the leaderboards.
17 teams still inside the business, and one person straight on their floors. It could be an easy pickup, but it's going to be on the left side. Fastroki jumping up and down in the box, trying to feed Kylie of this trap, and Seti and Chapix will not be able to capitalize just yet. Flodax goes down, and everyone has a moment of peace before that zone locks in again.
This looks like it's going to be Joe and Vino's game to win. They're set up for victory right now, up on high ground, but down on the mid. Seti and Chapix still managing to tunnel their way through, down to only Wood remaining. This is the point where these players are going to go for a refresh. The pre-edit play comes in. The double spray comes down with a high power rate weapon. The player dropped into their box, but no, he's managed to escape, get out. They're going for it yet again, but those players have disengaged. They've dissed out of there, and it's not going to be the player that they can pick up the elimination on.
X squeeze down to the zone on the backside. It's Milad who's fighting him way in the past in a different game entirely. Meanwhile, in the current present, looking to the future, Vino and Joe are on high ground. All in on their materials, though. It's Wood. The reconnect is there. Positioning perfect from Joe and Vino. No pressure whatsoever, and no team close enough to be able to take height. They control the launch pads. They control the air. Meanwhile, at the ground, it's Chapix now face to face with absolute destruction, and he goes down too. They will not be able to secure a position for a win, but for Joe and Vino, this looks too easy.
It is Clement left as a solo, losing Floki out. This is just a day of solo pop-offs, and here we go with Clement now. 0 builds to his name, the player down below underneath his box. He's going to have to start aiming, getting the shot through. The 90 connects, but no, the zone is now catching up. He's only got 3 seconds of tick. It's talked, and he's out.
Absolutely too close for him right there, but still up on height. It's free. Like rain, these shots are firing straight to the ground, and there is no umbrella to be able to stop the damage. Vino and Joe are looking too good here. 5 eliminations. No team I see at the moment is there healthy enough to wrap them up and try to contest them up top in this game. Milad finally down as well. Vico and Yaisha moving in, but they're also just completely confused and razzled as to where to go. They're looking up, getting denied. Matt's not looking too good either. All on Wood. Injury down to Krusty. They're falling down to the low ground. It's Fastroki gets picked apart on the right side. Another big edit. Cone slide in, and Vico's making it look too good and easy. They have a little bit of control, and they might have a chance to go for that final 2v2.
This could be the first time they make a finals. These are the newcomers, the pop-offs of the season. Vico been streaming everything all season, making the finals the Cash Cup, solo, duos, whatever it is, and this could be their time to shine. But up on high ground, Vino and Joe are getting the height taken from them. Vino's got no materials, so he has to drop down as the 1v1 goes up onto the height. It's a solo. I gotta think it's maybe hard find when Vino starts to go up with this way, and the huge shot up down, and the massive down below. Vino has been training the aim since All Stars. He's hitting the shots that matter. It's a 2v1 situation. This is a highlight moment of his career right now to qualify him through for the finals. It's a 1v1 because Joe has gone down at the backside of the zone, and it's going to go to Vino and Joe with 8 eliminations.
Vino, that was insane. A swing, a hit, no misses, just bangers from the man. And that is how you qualify to finals.
That is a highlight play for the books right there. The swing up on the height using the Spider-Man, the max damage, the drop to low ground, another max damage. Absolutely clinical. This is why people rate this player so high for Vino.
That is the best play of the entire chapter, possibly, that I've seen in semifinals in general. We've had reboot rounds that get crazy, but I've never seen such clinical precision like this. A pixel to hit, and he does it. Snap, instant, inhuman reactions. I mean, Vino, this should not be possible.
I keep talking about Twitter clips. If this isn't on Twitter in the next 2 minutes whilst we're here, I don't know what's going on. That is absolutely incredible. You got to think the impact that this is going to have on the drop spots now that Tayson and Thomas HD have qualified from Kondo, or not Kondo at the same time, sorry, Covert. They're so similar. They're both C's, you know? They both qualified from this drop spot now. That now leaves it open for other teams to go there. They're noticing that launchpad potential is going to be there in that drop spot. Players are winning from there. I think in this next game we could see a ton of players switch that up.
Hey, Covert Cavern is running our entire semifinal so far today, and the best clips we've seen throughout the day. So Zeke, Levin, Sundown, what else can we expect from such a drop?
Fortnite fam, I'm so thankful you guys could not see my physical body just absolutely flailing like a fish out of water after watching Vino's performance. Literally, we interviewed him, and he said one of the biggest tips that he could teach someone is knowing when to turn it on. And in that moment, that literally flashed before his eyes. This is my opportunity. We can go to finals right here. And Levin, Reese, this happens after Thomas win the last game, right? So they dip. That means that they start this game with Covert uncontested and then immediately come back to win, Levin?
It's this moment right here when he realizes no materials, I've got to make a play, and he drops down and instantly hits the one striker pump. I'll be real. There are not many things you will see better than that when watching Fortnite. That was truly beautiful. And then the win as well. Wow, Vino, I'm honestly lost for words. That was just spectacular.
Yeah, those might have been one of just like the best all-around clips ever of showing what you're capable of and just going up, no builds whatsoever. It reminds me a lot of the Boyer clip all the way back in Winter Royale, where it's like you work with the resources you're given, and then sometimes you just put it all together and it's beautiful. And I mean, the left-handed shot when swinging up, and that's what he was going for. He can't throw himself up above. He's not going to take that 50-50. He was trying to get that first shot, and then the insta 152 on the way down. That was just the cherry on top, the icing on the cake, whatever metaphor ShileWager wants to use, throw them all right there.
The walking paradox himself, my goodness. I mean, once again, when it just comes down to raw technical ability, you're seeing it put on full display from Vino there in just literally 5